Okay, so first question, as I said, is just about copying the passage and putting in the words that make sense. So we've got luxury, budget, essential, save, need. So a what allows you to monitor how much you spend each month. So which word is it? Luxury, budget, essential, save, or need? Right, budget. Yes, thanks, guys. Yep. So it's a budget. That's the first thing we did. First activity we did was we looked at budgeting. So a budget allows you to monitor how much you spend each month. This will help you to do what for future purchases? To save, yes, thank you. To save for future purposes, purchases. Yeah. So you've got a budget. You know how much you need to spend on your travel, on your rent, on your food, and that means, all right, I've got £100 left over. I can save that to go and buy that jacket that I want, or I can go buy that pair of shoes, or I can go save up to buy the new Xbox, whatever. Something items should only be purchased. What, essential items or luxury items? Luxury, yeah. So luxury items, right, should only be purchased when you have paid all what kind of costs? So when you've paid all essential costs. Yes, thank you. Very good, right, brilliant. So when you've paid all your essential costs, right, that's when you can, if you've got money left over, you can buy a luxury item. You don't do it the other way around and then figure out, oh, I've actually got no money to feed myself. So yeah, well done there. Right, the next one was a bit of a calculation. So we'll see how we got on with that. So Max is going to add broadband to his TV package. He currently pays £65.40 per month with AH Communications. Use the information below to select the two correct facts. Right, so we've got, this is how these kind of questions work in your assessment. You kind of be given this information and you've got kind of two choices. You've got kind of one calculation and one that's already done for you, and you need to look at the four statements and figure out which two make sense based on your calculation. So the AH Communications, basically, he already pays £65.40 a month. We are saying if we add broadband for an extra $12.99, but then you take 8% off, what is that monthly cost? And the TV Pro is just a straightforward, right, that's the price that it costs per month. So we're basically we have a calculation to do for this one, and then we're going to compare it to see if it's like more or less than this TV Pro. So if you haven't done this calculation yet, do it with me just now, please. So his monthly cost and that's with AH, is going to be £65.40, and we are adding broadband at $12.99, so we need to figure out what that cost is. So 65.4, you should have a calculator ready on your phone or your laptop or whatever, we're going to be using it a fair bit, plus 12.99, so I can do this one with you. So that is coming out at £78.39, right? But then it says I get 8% off your bill with this kind of offer, right? So what I need to do is I need to take 8% off of £78.39. So I need to find out what 8% is and then take it off. There's a couple of ways we can do that. Remember way back at the start of our numeracy, we were talking about increasing, decreasing by a percentage using a multiplier. So like 100% add 6% is 106% equals 1.06. That was how we increase something by 6%. If we want to decrease something by 8%, right? So decrease by 8%, make sure you're doing this working with me, please, if you're not already. The multiplier for that is we can use that same method. So we can say 100% take away 8%, 100 take away 8 is 92%, changing that to a decimal by dividing it by 100, that's going to be 0.92. So this is like right what we did at the start of our Nat 5 numeracy course, is we were increasing, decreasing percentages. So if I want to find that decrease, so the new monthly cost, the new cost, all I have to do is take my 78.39. Remember, it's called a multiplier because we multiply by what's in the box. So times by 0.92, that's going to give me my final price. So 78.39 times 0.92, what's the answer? Give me it in the comments. Right, so it comes out as 72.1188, which we don't, so I'll write it up here, 72.1188. Now it's money, so we need to round it to the nearest penny, which is rounding this 1. So I've seen one person round it correctly, so we round that 1, which it's got an 8 after it, which means the 1 goes to a 2. So yeah, it's £72.12. Okay, £72.12. That 1 gets rounded up to a 2. Okay, so now we need to use this new price, and we need to look at this 74.50 and look at our 4 statements here. So the first statement that we need to just say, is it true or false? So advanced AH communications is £78.39 per month. Right, well, that's what it was before the discount, but it's not that after the discount. So that first one, you can say maybe statement 1 is incorrect. Right? TV Pro is £2.38 more expensive. Well, look at your £74.50, look at £72.12. Is that £2.38 more expensive? Well, we can just check that. It kind of looks like it might be. Let's just check it. Do 74.5, take away 72.12. And if you do that, yes, it does become 2.38. So that second statement is one of the ones we would tick. That is £2.38 more expensive. AH Communications is £72.12 per month. That's exactly what we got. So that one is correct. And let's just check the last one. TV Pro is £3.89 cheaper. No, well, we've just said that it's more expensive, so that one's rubbish. Okay, so a bit of a calculation to do, and then you're comparing your answer with the other package. Okay, that's quite a typical question to get. So well done if you managed to do that yourself. Well done if you followed on with what I did. Okay. All right. Let's move on to the next one. Right, next one is about transport. Remember, we did activity where we were going through to Edinburgh, and we looked up the price of a bus, we looked up the price of a train, and then we worked out the kind of cost of running a car and driving over there. So that's kind of what this is all about. So Georgia is attending a course in Edinburgh for 15 days. So that's important information. 15 days. If you haven't already written it down, make sure you've got the time period is 15 days. So that's like 3 weeks, right? 3 working weeks, Monday to Friday, Monday to Friday, Monday to Friday. Put the following transport options in order from least expensive to most expensive. Okay, so we've got a 5-day train pass for £25.50. We've got a 5-day bus pass for £20.95. We've got a daily return bus pass for £4.25 each day, and we can borrow mum's car for £2.40 fuel and £3.50 parking per day. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to change all of these into like how much it costs for 15 days, and then see which one's the least expensive, which one's the most expensive, and put them in order. So here's what I want you to do. In your jotter, we're going to make 5 little headings. So we're going to go for a 5-day train pass. That's alright, Kay, thanks. 5-day train. That's fine. 5-day bus. We need to do the calculations anyway. Daily bus. That is not how you spell daily. Why can I not spell? Try that again. Daily, D-I-L-Y. daily bus, and borrow the car. Okay, so the 5-day train pass is £25.50, and that covers you for 5 days. So we need 15 days. So we just need to times that by 3. We need 3 of them, right? So this is going to be £25.50 times 3. Okay, so work that out yourself. The 5-day bus pass, again, that's similar, but it's for the bus this time. So that is going to be £20.95, so it's a bit cheaper, times 3. So again, that's for a 5-day pass for like 1 working week. So if we're going for 3 weeks, we need 3 of them. I think that makes sense. The daily return bus ticket, right? If you just got a bus ticket each day, it's £4.25. So you don't get the kind of weekly pass, you just pay for it on the day. Well, that means we're going for 15 days, so we're going to need 15 of them, times by 15. And then the car, well, there's a wee kind of 2 things to add together. First, it costs £2.40 plus £3.50 each day. So how much is that? £2.40, 2.4 plus 3.5. So it's costing £5.90 each day. That's just for 1 day, and then I need to times that by 15. So 4 things to do here. Okay, so the 5-day train pass, £25.50 times 3. Okay, hopefully you got the same answer as me. That comes out at £76.50. The 5-day bus pass, 20.95 times 3. That's obviously a bit cheaper, £62.85. The daily bus is £4.25 times 15 is £63.75. And the car was £5.90 times 15. That was 88.5, so £88.50. Okay, so in order, I know Katie's already written her answer. In order, we just look at the smallest and then we go up to the biggest. So the cheapest option would be so write down the number 1, the cheapest is the 5-day bus. Then it is just the daily bus ticket. Right, yep. Thanks, Caden, you're right. Then it's just the daily bus ticket. Okay, then the next expensive is the 5-day train pass. And then by far the most expensive is borrowing the car. Okay, so that was to give you an idea. So well done for you that got it, and hopefully the rest of you managed to get that same thing. That's just to give you a kind of idea that taking a car, oh, it's great. When you learn to drive, you can borrow your mum's car. It's really handy. It's really useful, but it costs the most expensive. Parking, particularly if you're going into a city, into Glasgow or into Edinburgh, parking is extortionate. So it's often a much better option just to take the train up or take the bus in. Okay, right. That's that question done. Why is it not letting me? Okay, question number 4. Let's go on to it now. So, Hannah buys a new car worth £12,400. After year 1, it loses 45% of its value. After year 2, another 5%. After year 3, another 2%. What is the car worth after 3 years? So this is very relevant and probably quite eye-opening for some of you. If thinking that it'd be great when you have a car to get a brand new one, well, it loses a lot of its value straight away, so maybe not the best idea. So we've got a starting value of £12,400, so let's write that. Start value £12,400. Right, how much is it after year 1? Okay, this is where we're going to have to use some of our percentage, increase, decrease, multiplier stuff. So after year one, it loses 45%. So it's going down by 45%. Now, I'm not going to go through that whole thing again. I'm hoping that you're happy that if I do 100, take away 45, that leaves me with 55. So that means 55% as a multiplier, we would multiply by 0.55. So get your 0.55 and times by 12,400. I hope you're okay with me just writing that. So I did 100 take away 45 to give me 55%, which I then changed to my decimal box multiplier 0.55. So 0.55 times 12,400. 6,820 it's now worth. Okay, so almost halved in value after just the first year. So year two, I'm going to do year two, then I'm going to leave you to do year three by yourself. So year two, we're starting at this new value. Remember, the 12,400, that's gone. It's now worth 6,820. So we're going down by another 5%. So we would do 100, take away 5, which is 95%. As a decimal, that's just 0.95. And we're timesing that by our new value, 6820. Okay, so do that in your calculators, please. 0.95 times 6820. So that's going to give me £6,479. Now, if you've copied up till now, I now want you to do the last one by yourself. So year three, our value is now 6,479 and it's going down by 2%. So do the same thing, but for a drop of 2% and tell me my final value. Write it in the comments. Go. I'll give you a couple of minutes to do this. So yeah, decrease by 2%, 0.98 times by the value, which is now 6479, and that is giving me £6,349.42. So yes, few of you got that, so well done for those that got that by yourself. If you didn't quite get that, hopefully you have seen where you went wrong. Okay, so car started at 12,400. After 3 years, it's almost halved in value. Okay, so yeah, give you a good idea of whether it's kind of worth buying a brand new car or not. That's up to you to decide. Right, next question. There's a few calculations involved in these kind of early ones, so we're still going with this. A household is said to be in fuel poverty if more than 10% of its annual income is spent on fuel. So fuel means energy and electricity, right? So that's what fuel poverty is talking about. It's talking about the fuel to run your house, your flat. So if more than 10% of its annual income is spent on fuel, so you add all the salaries of the people that work in the house, take 10% of it. If the amount you pay in fuel is more than 10%, then you're in fuel poverty. Okay, that's how it works. So it says Mark works 35 hours a week for $8.90 an hour, and assuming that he lives by himself. So what is the maximum amount annually he should spend on fuel to remain below the fuel poverty threshold? So here we go. First thing we need to do then is work out how much does Mark earn in a year. What is his annual income? Okay, so I know how many hours he works in a week and I know what his hourly wage is. So I basically need to change that to an annual income. So here we go. So his weekly pay is quite simple, I think. That's 35 hours times £8.90. because that's how much he gets per hour, and that's how many hours he works in a week. So you just times those two numbers together. So 35 times £8.90. So he earns £311.50 in a week. Right, now I need to change that into a year. So his annual pay, how many weeks in a year again, fifth year? Write it in the comments.
32.
Thank you. Hope the rest of you knew that. So yes, 311.50 times 52. That'll get me my annual hit, or Mark's annual pay. So do that now, please. So we're getting 16,198. Right, so that's how much he actually makes in a year. This would be before tax. That's just his salary in a year. So if more than 10% of his annual income is spent on fuel, he's in fuel poverty. So all I have to do actually is, what is the maximum amount he should spend on fuel? I just need to find 10% of this number. So that should be straightforward enough. So all I need to do, I'm not increasing or decreasing, I'm just literally finding what is 10% of 16,198. That's all I need to do here. So easiest way to do that, remember, do the percentage divided by 100 times by the quantity. So 10 divided by 100 times 16,198. Do it yourself. Answer in the comments, please. And I want an answer from everyone, please. Okay, any more answers? Please, come on. Yep, these are all correct. It's actually, you just need to move the number, kind of the decimal point in one place to the left. So rather than being decimal point being after the 8, it actually goes one place in and goes after the 9. So yeah, it's 1619, so 1,619.80 pence. So that is the maximum that he should spend to remain in a year to remain on below the threshold. Okay, thank you for your answers. Right, we'll see. We're not going to get through this full sheet today, but we'll see how far we can get. Right, student loans. Let's go for student loans. So student loans are repaid at 9% of your earnings over that amount. Now, for the point of this question, this is our earning threshold. Remember, when we did some work on this before, that threshold in Scotland has actually gone up quite a lot. But for the purpose of this question, it is 17,775. So remember, you only pay the 9% on the earnings over that threshold. So Joe earns £28,500. How much does he have to pay back? Right, so what we have to do first is work out what is the difference between 28,500 and the threshold. So how much over the threshold is his earnings, and then we take 9% of that. So there's two steps to this. So work out the difference of the earnings over the threshold. So first of all, it's 28,500. Take away that threshold, that'll tell me the difference, the amount that he earns that's over it. So just take away that threshold from the earnings. So it is just over 10,000 that he's over. So it's 10,725. Now, that's not one of the options, so that means we're not finished, right? That's how much basically he can get taxed on. Okay, so this is in a year, remember, this is how much he earns in a year. So what we have to work out is how much would he pay back in a year, and then our actual question though asks us for how much per month. So this is how they kind of get you in these assessments, is they maybe give you something in a yearly amount, but they ask you to change it to a monthly amount. So you need to be really careful to look out for that. Okay, so what we have to do now though is for the yearly, we'll stick to the same terms as before. We'll call it annual. So annual payback for the loan is 9% of that 10,725. So similar to how we worked out 10%, we can do the same for this 9%. So that's just going to be 9 divided by 100 times by 10,725. Okay, so that's going to be how much in a year, and then we're going to change that to how much in a month. So 9 divided by 100 times 10,725. So I got £965.25. Now here's the key, not to trip up. They give you that answer to try and fool you. That's per year though. I'm not asked for per year, I'm asked for per month. So you need to remember to change that to a monthly amount. So the monthly payback is going to be the yearly divided by the number of months in a year. So that's going to be 965.25 divided by 12. Okay, that's all we need to do. So take your yearly amount, divide it by 12. And hopefully that will equal one of our answers up the top. Okay, what are we getting for that fifth year? Remember, we need to round to the nearest penny. So that second decimal place, that's the one that we round. Thank you, Katie. Anyone else got an answer? Okay, we're all getting the same answer, and that's exactly what I got. Yeah, it comes out as 80.4375. That 3 is going to be the second decimal place. That's going to be the one that we round. So it's going to be £80.44, right? Even if you looked at your calculator and saw it was 43, you should hopefully kind of make the connection to the rounding there for the answer, 80.44. Okay, so good job. Well done, everyone that got that. Right, we've got time for maybe one more page, so let's try and do it now. These are actually just, there's no calculations in a few of these, it's just, do you know the answer? It's a bit of knowledge. So I want to see some comments here from you. So which of the following types of mortgage would you recommend to someone who does not want to take the risk with the cost of their mortgage repayments each month? So what is basically it's saying, which would you recommend if you want to keep the costs of the mortgage the same? So you don't want to risk going up or down. Which of these would you recommend if you want to keep the cost the same all the time, the same each month? So is it fixed mortgage? Is it a variable mortgage? Is it a tracker mortgage? Is it an offset mortgage? What do you think? Yeah, you're right. You're right. It is a fix. That's correct. So if they don't want to take the risk of the cost changing, it means that they want to keep it fixed. So yes, it is that fixed one there. That's correct. So well done if you got that right. Next one is about cars. Which of the following types of car payment require you to pay a deposit? Okay, so you go into Arnold Clark, you want a car, you can take the car away that day, you don't have to pay the full amount in cash, but often you pay a deposit and then you pay like monthly installments. So which of these require you to pay a deposit? So is it a loan, like a bank loan? Is it a PCP, that's finance, PCP finance, hire purchase, or a leasing? What do we think for this? Okay, hold on, I'm just going to get my... Can't get up. Right, you're saying loan, Katie thinks leasing but not sure. Okay, so there's a few that I know definitely do. So PCP, that's the other word for that is finance. Sorry, leasing, the other word for that is finance, but they're kind of similar things. So leasing was the one that we know kind of more commonly as finance. So that's where you put some money down, you pay it each month and you don't own it at the end. So leasing does require a deposit. So you should have leasing as one of your options. Now there might be more than one. Okay. Hire purchase. Now we haven't specifically talked about that this year, but you have been taught it in maths over the in second year, third year, fourth year, that kind of thing. So hire purchase is where you pay a deposit plus monthly payments, right? And you can actually you can buy a lot of things for hire purchase. You can buy clothes for hire purchase. You can buy like a TV, a fridge. You pay some amount today and then you pay the rest back in monthly installments. People do that often for like buying furniture, sofas, or like any kind of expensive thing in the house. You can also use it for cars. So that hire purchase, that has a deposit. PCP is similar to finance. You have to put a deposit down and pay each month. Okay, but the difference between that is that you actually own your car at the end. So that is a deposit. Now, a bank loan is actually where you take all the money from the bank. So say the car costs £10,000, you borrow £10,000 from the bank, you pay Arnold Clark £10,000, and you just pay them the whole money, but then you have to pay the bank back each month. So you have to pay back the loan, kind of similar to a student loan. Okay, so that one you don't need to put a deposit down, but you do have to pay the bank loan. That's just monthly payments. Okay, so for ones which require a deposit, remember a deposit is you have to pay in cash the money there and then. You don't actually have the cash, but you have to pay the money there and then, send the money. The loan is the only one where you don't have to have the money there and then. Okay. Right, okay. So we're up to question 9. I'm going to have to probably leave it there for today. Thank you so much for those of you that joined just there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop